Hi, Carlinville Public Library friends. How are you guys today? I have some exciting things to share with you today. I'm so excited. I'm going to show you something that we have in our library. Let me go get it and I'll show you. You ready? Look. Aren't they beautiful? They're called daffodils. Look at how beautiful they are. Do you know what this tells me? It's spring. And we're going to have better weather. And we're going to be able to go outside and play. And maybe go on some nature walks. And I don't know about you, but in the morning, our birds around our house are very, very noisy. Oh my goodness, they're tweeting and everything. Let me put this flower back. And it's spring. Things are growing. Our brown grass is turning green again. And the birds are having a fun time. So let's start by saying, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning to my story time friends. Good morning to you. Good morning. Let's start with our first story. This one is so silly. It's called Feathers for Lunch. Who would eat feathers for lunch? I don't think they would taste very good. And this is written by Lois Ehlert. She has a neat way of drawing her pictures. It's almost like she cut them out of construction paper and kind of pieced them together. They're very, very colorful, very, very fancy. Look at, who's that? Who is that? Is that a cat? What does the cat say? Meow, meow. What does the bird say? Tweet, 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 tweet. Can you make a bird go tweet, 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 tweet? In this story, we get to learn about different birds, their names, and how they sound out in the wild. So I'll need you to help me make those bird sounds. And they all have different sounds. So let's get started. And we'll find out about this silly cat and who's having feathers for lunch. Oh, look. Feathers for Lunch by Lois Ehlert. Uh-oh. Doors left open. Just a crack. What do you think that is? If you thought it might be a cattail, I think you're right. It looks like it might be his tail or her tail. Let's turn the page and see what happens. Oh, my cat is out and he won't come back. Oh, you know what's really wonderful about this story? They have flowers. I love flowers. And they tell us the names. And they said, this is a red geranium. You see those out all the time. Not right now yet. Not yet. But later this summer they will be out because it's too cold for them still. Oh, look. Jingle, jingle, jingle. He's looking for lunch. Something new. What do you think he might eat? You think these? Well, it says they're tomato plants. I don't think he'll eat a tomato. I know cats like to chase things. That silly cat, I think he's going to try to eat the robin. And this is an American robin. Those are all around my house. And what is the bird going to eat? A worm. You're right, it's a worm. A spicy treat for today's menu. Look at it says jingle jingle. The kitty has a bell on him. It says jingle jingle. And the J, this is a blue jay. And it says, can you say it? Get your little birdie fingers out and say J, 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 J. That's what he sounds like. Look at how pretty. His food in a can is tame and mild. Look at jingle jingle still. And this, it's a forsythia branch. Some of those are going to start to bloom soon. And later, a bleeding heart plant. These are usually really tiny. They're like that big. And look at, it's a northern cardinal. All right, get your little beaks out and you're going to say, what? Cheer, cheer, cheer. What? Cheer, cheer, cheer. What? Cheer, cheer, cheer. There he is, the red cardinal. So he's gone out for something wild. I hear jingle, jingle. But then I also see there's an apple tree branch. And I see a house wren. And there's another one. Oh my, he's snooping and sneaking. Those birds sure look good. And here down here, we can't see the kitty, but the kitty's down on the ground, probably creeping around. And you hear jingle, jingle, because he's got that bell on the collar. But we also hear the woodpecker. And a woodpecker goes tap, 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 tap. Can you do that? Tap, 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 tap. Good job. All right. If he could catch one, he'd eat it. He would. I know, cats like to eat birds. And this bird is a red-winged blackbird. I see those out at my house. And get your beaks ready. And you're going to say, Okali, Okali, Okali. Okali, Okali, Okali. Okali, Okali, Okali. Okali, Okali, Okali. All right. Oh, look at these flowers. They're called remembrance tulips. Remembrance is like the name of a type of tulip. Ooh, and those are coming out right now. Oh, this will be out later. It's a lilac bush. And let's see, what's that kitty cat doing? I hear his jingle. I don't see him. And it says, but when his bell jingles, birds call a loud warning. So the birds hear them and they make a noise. And this is an oriole. And get your little beaks out and say, whistle, whistle, check, check, check. Whistle, whistle, check, check, check. Whistle, whistle, check, check, check. Whistle, 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 check, check, check. Oh, big cat got out early this morning. We hear him jingling. We don't see him again. He's hiding and sneaking. And these are mourning doves. You ready? This one's fun. It'll go hoo 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 hoo. Isn't this fun? I hear those at my house. I know they're in my evergreen trees, and they go hoo 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 hoo. Oh, look. But cats can't fly and they can't soar. He's still down here. Jingling away. That says jingle, jingle. He's not in the picture, but we can hear him. He's nearby. And this is called a northern flicker. Look at how pretty he is. He's got spots and yellow and a little bit of red and a little bit of black. He's pretty. I hope you check this book out and then you can learn your birds. Oh, look at Kitty. Uh-oh. And birds know what their wings are for. This is a ruby-throated hummingbird. I haven't seen those yet. I think when we get in towards summer, we might see those. And look at these. You don't want to put those out yet. It's, I believe it's a petunia. Yep, it's a petunia plant. It's still a little too cold for them. You got to kind of wait till June. And does it say? They don't really have a noise, do they? They kind of buzz because you can hear their wings flap. So look at, he's going to get away from that jingle jangly kitty cat. This very sneaky cat snuck up on him. Oh, so kitty, he keeps prowling, hoping to munch. We don't see him except for, look at, I see a little bit of his tail. Do you? And I also hear, look at over here, it says jingle, jingle, jingle. So we can still hear him. And look at, do you remember what this plant was called? It's bright and yellow and bushy. It's a forsythia. A forsythia. These should be blooming soon. And look at, this is a house sparrow. And he says, get your little beak out. He says, chirp, 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 cheep, chirp, cheep, chirp, cheep, chirp, cheep. And over here is an American goldfinch. And it's suey, 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 suey. There you go, suey, a goldfinch. So it says he keeps prowling, hoping to munch. He wants to catch one of those birds, but all he catches are feathers for lunch because they fly away quickly and they just leave some feathers and he bites them. Silly kitty. And here, look at in the back, it says the lunch that got away. There's the cardinal and the blue jay and an oriole and a robin and a mourning dove and a red-winged blackbird. And they tell all about where they live and what they eat and how big they are. You should try this book. It is wonderful. I just grabbed it originally because it sounded fun. Feathers for lunch, what? And then I read it to my kids and I learned so much about all these different birds that I hear in the morning because they're making a ruckus. All right, you know what else I hear in the morning? I hear the toads and the frogs croaking. They're in the ditch and they must be waking up from hibernating and they're croaking, croak, croak, croak. So we're going to do the song 5 Green Speckled Frogs. Ready? So we need our 5 frogs and we need a log. So use your other arm and do your 5 fingers and we're going to go like this. Ready? 5 green and speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, eating some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Now there are 4 green speckled frogs. Glug, glug. Ready? 4 green speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, eating some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Now there are 3 green speckled frogs. Glub, glub. 3 green speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, eating some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Now there are 2 green speckled frogs. 2 green speckled frogs sat on a speckled log, eating some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Now there is 1 green speckled frog. I lost count because I had too much fun. You ready? 1 green speckled frog sat on a speckled log, eating some most delicious bugs. Oh, yum. 1 jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Now there are no green speckled frogs. Oh no, they're all swimming. Can you swim? Ready? Swim, 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 just like a frog. All right, I have another story for you. It is The Best Nest by P.D. Eastman. Let's see. Mr. Bird was happy. He was so happy. He had to sing. This was Mr. Bird's song. I love my house, I love my nest. In all the world, my nest is best. Ooh. Then Mrs. Bird came out of the house. It's not the best nest, she said. Oh no. That made him sad. I'm tired of this old place, said Mrs. Bird. I hate it. Let's look for a new place right now. Oh my goodness, how could she? It looks like a lovely house, doesn't it? Let's look. So they left the old place to look for a new one. This place looks nice, said Mr. Bird. Let's move in here. Let's see, they're going to go into a tree. They had a house. Now they're going to move into a tree. Let's see what Mrs. Bird says. She says, but somebody else had already moved in. Oh, no. So they looked at another house. This one looks nice, said Mr. Bird, and there's nobody in it. You're wrong, said Mrs. Bird. This house belongs to a foot. Did you think that was going to happen? I thought so too. So they went on looking. I like this one, said Mr. Bird. It has a pretty red flag on the roof. What is that? It's a mailbox. I've always wanted a house with a flag, said Mrs. Bird. Maybe this place will be all right. Do you think it'll be all right? Let's find out. Uh-oh, but it was not all right. I guess I made a mistake, said Mr. Bird. Yeah, that's not a good... You make too many mistakes, said Mrs. Bird. I'm going to pick the next house. And here it is, right here. Just a minute. I need to go get somebody. Just a minute. I'll be right back. I'm back, friends. I had to let one of the librarians in. All right. So she says, and here it is, right here. Do you know what that is? That's a church. You're right. So they're going to be up where the bell rings. There it is. There's the bell. So they flew in. They looked around. Isn't it too big? Asked Mr. Bird. I like this big place, said Mrs. Bird. This is the place to build our new nest. They went right to work. They needed many things to build their nest. First, they got some hay. They got some soda straws and broom straw. They got some sweater string. Look at that poor guy. Oh my goodness. They got some stocking string and mattress stuffing. Look at, they took that out of his hammock. They got some horsehair. They got some man hair. Soon they had all the hay, all the straw, all the string, all the stuffing, all the horsehair, and all the man hair they could carry. They took it all back to build their nest. Does that sound like a nice nest? Like they have all the good things to sleep on for their nest. Let's see what happens. So Mr. and Mrs. Bird worked very hard. It took them the rest of the morning to finish their nest. "This nest is really the best," said Mrs. Bird. "I want to stay here forever." Oh, look. It looks like a nice house. Someone's coming, though. Uh-oh. Let's see what happens. It says, Mr. Bird was very happy, too. He flew to the top of his house. He sang his song again. "I love a house, I love a nest. In all the world, a nest is best." He was so busy singing, he didn't even see Mr. Parker coming. Oh, no. I wonder what's going to happen. Every day at 12 o'clock, Mr. Parker came to the church. Mr. Parker came to pull a rope. The rope went up to the bird's new nest. You know what's going to happen? You're right. The rope rang the big bell right under Mrs. Bird's nest. Bong, bong, bong. Mrs. Bird got out of there as fast as she could fly. Bong, bong, bong. When Mr. Bird came in, all he could see was a mess of hay and string and stuffing and horsehair and manhair and straws. Where was Mrs. Bird? Uh-oh, what happened? "I will look for her until I find her," said Mr. Bird. He looked high, he looked low, he looked everywhere for Mrs. Bird. He looked down into a chimney, but Mrs. Bird wasn't there. He looked down into a water barrel, but Mrs. Bird wasn't there. Then he saw a big fat cat. There was a big fat smile on the fat cat's face. There were some pretty brown feathers near the fat cat's mouth. Mr. Bird began to cry. "Oh dear," he cried. "This big fat cat has eaten Mrs. Bird." Oh no. Mr. Bird flew off. "I'll never see Mrs. Bird again," he cried. It was getting dark. It began to rain. It rained harder and harder. Mr. Bird could not see where he was going. Oh, no. Crash! Mr. Bird bumped into something. Gosh, I wonder what it is. It was his old house. That old house that Mrs. Bird hated. "I'll go inside," said Mr. Bird. "I'll rest here until the rain stops." Mr. Bird went in, and there was Mrs. Bird sitting there singing, "I love my house, I love my nest. In all the world, this nest is best." "Oh, you here?" gasped Mr. Bird. "I thought you hated this nest." Mrs. Bird smiled. "I used to hate it," she said, "but a mother bird can change her mind. You see, there's no nest like an old nest for a brand new bird." And when the egg popped open, the new bird thought so too. Oh, isn't that nice? So real quick, I'm going to show you how to draw a bird. And you know, we know our shapes a little bit. So for this one, we're going to do kind of a circle. You ready? But the circle's going to be kind of long. So it's not really a circle, it's an oval. So an oval is a shape that goes round and round, round and round, round and round. Oval is a shape that goes round and round all day long. There's his body. Then I'm going to add a head, and we're going to try to make it more of a circle. So on this one, we're going to go, it's going to be smaller, and we're going to go, circle is a shape that goes round and round, round and round, round and round. A circle is a shape that goes round and round all day long. And we're going to do two little straight lines, but they're going to make a V for his beak. You ready? 1, 2. And then you can do a little dot for an eye. And if you want to add a wing, it's going to probably be another little oval. So, oval. And there you go. And guess what? He also needs legs. So we're going to draw one line here, one line here. And birds usually have some toes too, right? So we're going to draw some toes off there. And there you go. And if you want, you could make it like these birds and add a tail. And their tail they made kind of straight like that. And that's a bird. There you go, guys. Practice that and draw that and share it with Mom and Dad. All right, guys. Have a great week. And thank you for sharing some stories with me. Bye.